think that it is time for the New York Jets to trade Le'Veon Bell. Because Le'Veon Bell experiment with the New York Jets has not worked out. It's been nothing but a drama saga, and it's really confusing. And a lot of the things that's going on with Le'Veon Bell and the New York Jets simply doesn't make any sense to me. So reportedly, Le'Veon Bell is upset with his lack of usage in the New York Jets offense. He went on Twitter, he liked a couple of tweets about his usage in the offense and about a potential trade. And this isn't the first time that these rumors have popped up about Le'Veon Bell not being okay with his role in the Jets offense. I believe there were similar rumors about Le'Veon Bell's role or lack of involvement in the Jets offense dating back to last season, if I recall. But I mean, for Le'Veon Bell to be upset about his lack of usage so far this season doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Okay, because this guy just came off an injury. So naturally, in the NFL, when you have a guy that's fresh off an injury, you don't want to fully just rush them back and give them 25, 30 touches. Like, you want to ease them back into the game. Okay? So I don't really understand why Le'Veon Bell would be upset with that. Because obviously his workload is going to increase the more he continues to play. But I just think that there's just more to it than just his lack of usage in the offense. Because I think he understands that when you come off an injury, you just don't say, hey, give me 35, 30 touches. Like, you have to get eased back into that role. Okay? They don't want to have to give Le'Veon Bell too much and then risk getting him injured again. Which is why I said earlier that I think that it is time for the Jets to part ways with Le'Veon Bell, because this whole thing is just really confusing and doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. On top of that, why would the New York Jets continue to pay a guy so much money if you don't know how to properly utilize him? Okay? The New York Jets only have one reliable option in the passing game, and that is wide receiver Jamison Crowder, who I believe has been playing like a Pro Bowler this year. If the New York Jets do not get Jamison Crowder to the Pro Bowl this year, I will be extremely disappointed. Okay, because with the performance that Jamison Crowder has put up so far this season, I think he deserves to be in the Pro Bowl this season if he continues up his performance. But I mean, I think that Le'Veon Bell should be utilized more in the passing game. And I think that hopefully if Adam Gase is able to, or even has a brain cell to utilize Le'Veon Bell in the passing game, this could potentially help out the New York Jets offense, because Le'Veon Bell was an all-pro halfback with Pittsburgh, not only because he was a great runner, but because what he was able to do in the passing game. He was one of the few halfbacks that you could actually line up and he could be your second or third best wide receiver on your team. So, I mean, I can understand why Le'Veon Bell is upset, but I still can't understand why he's upset. Like, I know he wants to be more involved in the offense. Like, we even saw rumors about this last year. But, I mean, you're just coming off an injury, dude. Like, slow down. Like, they have to ease you back into the flow of the game. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that it's time for the New York Jets to part ways with Le'Veon Bell and just to go ahead and trade him. And I know New York Jets fans are going to be like, oh, JT, we can't trade him because we're not going to get anything in return. Like, at this point, you don't really have a choice. Because it looks like Le'Veon Bell simply doesn't like Adam Gase, and he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't want to play for the New York Jets, and he doesn't want to play with Adam Gase. Because, I mean, this isn't the first instance of Le'Veon Bell being at odds with Adam Gase. It was rumors about this going back to last season, about him and Adam Gase not getting along, about him wanting a bigger role in the offense. So this isn't the first merry-go-round of the Adam Gase and Le'Veon Bell drama. This is basically Adam Gase, Le'Veon Bell, and the New York Jets drama season 2. So, I mean, if you're the New York Jets, man, I mean, if you're a team that's looking to rebuild the culture of your franchise, you have to get guys out that don't want to be there. And that may be sometimes having to bite the bullet and have to sometimes settle for less. Okay, Le'Veon Bell, you may feel like you're able to get a second round or third round pick in return for Le'Veon Bell, but based on his production since he's been the New York Jets, has not really been all that great. Now, if Le'Veon Bell was playing at an all-pro level, like he was in Pittsburgh, then maybe you could have gotten like a second or first round pick for Le'Veon Bell. But Le'Veon Bell hasn't really looked all the same ever since he became a New York Jets. So, I mean, for the New York Jets, man, I think it's just time to give up on the Le'Veon Bell experiment. I don't really think it makes a lot of sense to keep him on the team because Adam Gase doesn't know how to use him. He's upset with his workload. Take him to a team that actually needs him, that could utilize him right now. So, I mean, for the New York Jets, man, I just think it's time to part ways with Le'Veon Bell because he's one of the highest paid halfbacks in the NFL. You're paying him all this money just to properly not utilize him. And I understand that he just came back from an injury, but I mean, this isn't the first time that Le'Veon Bell has been upset with his lack of involvement in the New York Jets offense. So I think that the New York Jets need to just save themselves the headache and get rid of Le'Veon Bell. I mean, if you're not going to get rid of Adam Gase, at least get rid of Le'Veon Bell because, I mean, your offense doesn't look better with him, and it didn't look better without him neither. So, I mean, at this point, what is Le'Veon Bell actually doing that's helping the offense out? Nothing at all. So, I mean, I think that it's time for the New York Jets just to give up on this whole Le'Veon Bell experiment. This is why you don't pay halfbacks big money unless you really know that this guy is going to be a fit in this offense. He was failed from the start. I mean, the New York Jets didn't have good offense, which I told a lot of New York Jets fans. I said, look, Le'Veon Bell was not going to rush for 1,000 rushing yards behind that New York Jets offense. It simply wasn't going to happen, and I didn't believe that Adam Gase was going to be able to utilize him. Okay? And so far, I've been right. So I just think that it's time for the New York Jets to give up. At this point, you're 0-5. It doesn't look like you have any plans on winning anytime soon. Sam Darnold's hurt. We don't know when he's coming back. So, I mean, if you're the New York Jets at this point, you might as well just go ahead, tank the season, get rid of Le'Veon Bell, try to get a draft pick for him, and go from there, man. Because at this point, Le'Veon Bell wasn't doing anything. And the New York Jets, when they had him, he wasn't all that big of a factor. I think it's time for the New York Jets just to go ahead, scrap this whole Le'Veon Bell experiment, and go ahead and trade him. This is why you don't pay big money for halfbacks in the NFL.